back again for just the second part of my how-to video for decaling. This one won't be as long as the last one. Just want to go through a few of the tools and supplies that I use for doing decals. So I use distilled water for decals. The only time I'll use tap water is if I want to use warm water. If I'm working with some thick decals or there's a lot of curves or anything like that, and I want to use warm water, then I'll use water out of the tap. Some people have used those small coffee warmers. People lay their coffee cup. Some people use those to keep their water warm. I generally don't. I just use water at room temperature. The other thing you'll need, of course, something to put your water in. And as you can see, this one is well used and terribly in need of a cleaning. This is just an old dish for, I guess, chip dip or something. So if I'm just doing small decals, I don't need a whole lot of water. I can just put a little bit in here and work. But if I'm working on larger decals, I can put it in here in a larger place. So rather than have two different size water, I'll just have the one here that has both of them combined. So I use that. I also use scissors, of course, to cut them out. Again, some people use a hobby knife. I find scissors. I prefer using scissors. Now, the things I use for decaling, this is all I use any of these items for. These scissors, I use them to cut decals, and that's it. Nothing else. So I keep all of my decaling stuff together. So I have these scissors for that. The other thing I use are brushes. Again, I use these just for decaling. I don't use them for anything else. I like soft brushes. I use different sizes depending on the area. If it's a large decal, of course, I use a larger brush. The other thing I use is Q-tips. These are black, so it might be a bit hard to see, but these are really tightly wound, so there's not much fiber coming off of these when I use them. So that's why I like to use those. And of course, decal solution. The two main ones that most of us use are the microset and the microsol. The microset is improves adhesion of the decal. So it's almost like I wouldn't call it a decal glue, but it does help your decal stick a bit better. And of course, the microsol softens up the decal and allows it to conform better to curved surfaces and any details that are underneath the decal. Essentially, what it does, it softens and melts the decal so it can settle down under anything that's over it. You probably can't tell, but there's hardly anything left in this bottle because I accidentally knocked it over. So a good thing to do is to have some type of a stand that you can put these in, like just a block of wood with a hole drilled in it to fit the bottle into, just so you don't knock them over. The other solution is this Solvaset. This is also a setting solution similar to the microsol, but this is quite a bit stronger. So you want to be a little careful when you're using this one. I think if you use it too much, you may damage the decal. So just to keep that in mind. And one thing to keep in mind as well, when you're using, if you're using solution, um, you can see here, here's another set of decals um, from another Revell kit. But the one thing on these decals, and it's the first time I've actually ever seen it myself, if you look here on the instructions, it says right here that the decals are not compatible with setting solution or solvents. So probably have to use, when I go to do this kit, I'll probably have to use warm water and some heat on these, because apparently you're not able to use solution on these decals for some reason or another. The other thing that is handy to have is a hair dryer. Again, if you have some decals that are being a bit stubborn, you want to add some heat to it, you can use the hair dryer to do that. Also, some of the decals that I showed in my last video, the carbon fiber decal from I think it was Scale Motorsport, those actually require heat in order for those to lay down properly. So that's basically the tools that I use. I'll also show you the model that I'm going to demonstrate the decals on. I'm going to use this Pontiac Grand Prix NASCAR. It's the Tony Stewart, the Home Depot Grand Prix. So this is the one I'll be using. So I just need to clean this body up, paint it, and prep it for decaling. So in my next video, I'll have this body ready to start applying decals, and I won't show every single decal, but I'll show some of the smaller ones. I'll show me doing some of the larger ones. Just basically how I get them to lay down. So in my next video, we'll actually be laying some decals down. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and hope you stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.